Hey there, and thanks for checking out this video. This is part 2 in my Stratocaster build, my Relic build. What I'm going to do now is prep the body, but I figured I would take you guys through some of the things that I'm going to do here, some of the things I'm going to be using, and talk to you about the body itself. As I mentioned in the first part, this is a body I got from Tone Bomb. Came with this little instruction book. I'll talk to you about what's in here. Rough Tone Series bodies are CNC cut from high-grade tone woods. They're not sanded though. They come sanded to 150 at the top, but the edges still show a lot of tooling from the CNC. I'm going to show you some of what they're talking about. They mentioned in their little brochure here as well. You can see some of the tooling marks that are still here on the sides and wherever the tools may have changed directions. Here, obviously, still a little bit rough. Overall, though, the cuts are quite sharp for the cavities. It does tell you to check out the bridge and the neck fit, which I already did, and they fit perfectly. So for dimensions wise, they've really done a good job. You can see some more of the tool marks there. Having said that, the little booklet does say most of the work is involved in you sanding, so it's what they said. It's what you buy when you get it. Of course, you'll still need to drill your own pilot holes for screws, for the pick guard, you know, for jack plate and things like that. At the end here, they say we're a small company with a limited marketing budget. We're relying on you to have a great experience and let others know about us. So we'll let you know about how everything went with Tone Bomb in this body here. Some of the things I've got that I'm going to be using, something I just recently found. I've got some sanding blocks here for flat surface, spongy on top. It's good. It's actually got a little Velcro kind of surface here that I can take my discs from my random orbital sander and they attach well, so if I want to use them. Something I found recently is I just got some pipe insulation that I've cut a length of. You can see about how thick it is. What I do with this is I'll take a piece of sandpaper, wrap it around, and now that provides a little bit of flexible cushion for some of the curved areas of the body. I found it's very helpful. And then something else that I just saw at Lowe's here just recently, and I got it, 3M Sandblaster Pro. I got a couple of sheets here in 320 and in 220 to test out. Ultra flexible. All right, so the sandpaper is on, as you can see here, some super flexible, and I thought, hey, this would be great, maybe in combination with my little foam roller here, and for getting in the curved parts on a Stratocaster, as there's so many of, to help get a nice smooth, without creases, the way a regular sandpaper when you fold it over might get you. So we'll be using that as well. And then we'll be ending up white vinyl sealer to get this thing ready to painted. White vinyl sealer from Stumac, using the white vinyl sealer because I'm going to be finishing it in Daphne blue, and that's recommended. So before we get to any of the sealing, though, obviously there's still quite a bit of sanding to do, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do here. I've got my random orbital sander for the big stuff, certainly on top. As the information from Tone Bomb said, it came at about a 150. Obviously, you got to get this to a minimum of 220. I sometimes like to go up to 320 anyway, just to make sure it's nice and smooth. But there's still quite a bit to get done to take off some of the tool marks that they talked about, even just getting those to 150. I've got my sanding downdraft table here, a little homemade downdraft table connected up to my shop vac. I'll turn that on, and we'll get set up here with the orbital sander, and we'll get going. Okay, so I've spent a good amount of time sanding up to 220. What I wanted to do is stop, and before I go up to 320, talk to you a little bit about this ultra flexible 3M paper that I got and I used here and told you about at the beginning. And I can't say enough about how awesome this stuff is. Again, it's from 3M, ultra flexible. Here's the package. Once again, I take this, wrap it around my foam pipe insulator section that I have, since it's super flexible, easily wraps right around there, and it really is good at getting the transitions in and the rounded parts. And obviously something like a Stratocaster body, it's got tons of curve places, and you really want to get in their smooth roundovers, and you've got the belly cut and the arm cut and the horns and whatnot. There's a lot of rounded areas. This stuff was awesome for getting in. So at the beginning I talked about how even in the tone bond paper it said that there was a lot of spots on the edges that were left undone, and with hitting a little bit of 150 with my insulator pad here and my foam block, it knocked that down really quick, and then switched over to this 220, this ultra flexible. Once again, wrapped around my insulator, and it made short work of all this. It was really great. Of course, I use my random orbital sander here on the top and on the back, obviously on the flat parts, to quickly sand it in. But everything else where I needed to blend in, to round over, curves and whatnot, this was awesome. Highly recommend it. Okay, I'm going to get started on doing the 320 as well, and then we'll be back as I get this ready to hook up and put on my paint stand. Right. Hey, before I get started on showing you the actual painting process I'm going to use, I wanted to show you my setup here. It's just something that I came up with for some things around the house and a little trip to Lowe's. Basically what I have is a stand here that just used to be an umbrella stand from some patio furniture that I fitted with some 1-inch pipe that I got from the local hardware store. With a little T up here at the top, and two small pipe extensions here just to allow for some balance here. I can turn, tighten it down and lock it in place if I don't want it to turn any longer. And what I've got here is just a piece of dowel that I have fitted to match the inside neck pocket of my Stratocaster here, and I'll just screw it down in place right there, and then be able to insert this into my stand, and I can paint and turn, move it around, manipulate it, and even let it sit there to dry. And it's easy just to go ahead and slide it in here. And then, as I said, I can move it around. I can rotate the body as I'm painting. Pretty simple, pretty easy, something anybody could make. Okay, here we're gonna get started on actually applying my StewMac Color Tone Guitar Lacquer White Vinyl Sealer to seal this thing up so we can get ready to paint it. And I'm gonna go ahead and start that sealing and painting process in the next video. I'll see you in the next video.